You'll have to speak to them.
Yeah. All right.
They're loading in.
They're coming.
The simulation is loading the humans.
All right. If you're watching this replay, this is Andre Pickens. We're doing a class on wealthy decision making. So Andre will tell you more about what that means. What's up, Megan, Fifi Maya, Cedar, Anthony, Achal, Kaya, Leonard. Hi, everyone. Rose, Jaum. Hi, Pratam. All right. Zingara Scottsdale's here. How fun. I love
Nice.
that. Hey, Zingara, that coffee shop down the street. Okay, so we're going to get started. Andre, you have the floor whenever you're ready.
You want to
Introduce you?
She heard. They heard all of that. That was Sam introducing, so.
All right. Okay. Hello. Welcome today. We're doing a free class for you guys, so let's have some fun. So, first thing I want to talk about is, well, the topic. The topic is wealthy decision making. How to make decisions like a wealthy person, even if you, at this point in time, don't consider yourself to be wealthy. Okay. So, to begin, I have a question. And you can put in the chat your answers to the question. And we'll discuss from there. The question is, how do you make decisions in your life? Right now. How do you make decisions? Okay. If you have a tough time answering this question, that's okay. Because if you're like, well, actually, I don't know. That's all right. But I am curious, how do you make decisions
Put it in the chat.
in your life? Put it in the chat.
It's kind of a tricky question.
It's interesting. You think it's a tricky question?
Well, there's no, mostly logically, sometimes emotionally.
Okay, let's go. Let's say mostly logical. I don't know what that means yet, but we're gonna write it down.
How do you make decisions? Put it in the chat.
Yes. How do you make decisions?
Based on feelings, sometimes bullshit resistance feelings.
Huh?
That's what someone said. Based on feelings, sometimes bullshit resistance feelings. I rationalize everything.
Okay.
Based on level of enthusiasm. I decide.
I decide.
Logically, and sometimes after asking my trusted mates.
Okay, so other people's opinions.
Based on facts.
Facts.
That's what I got so far.
Okay. All right, now, one, thank you for answering the question. This here is, a lot of these is something that we all do in various ways. For example, getting the opinion of someone that we trust is something that a lot of us do because maybe that person has experience with the thing that you're looking to make a decision about. Or maybe they just seem to be that type of person that is definitive and you just need that additional confidence in yourself to go forward with a decision. All right? We like having the facts about what it is that we're doing because we want to make sure that we're making the safest decision possible. Okay? Being logical about it is, the whole idea of that is making sure that the thing that we're hearing makes sense. If it's based on our feelings, it's, do I feel good about this thing or do I feel bad about it? Okay? Does all of that make sense? Put it in the chat. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. So we all use every one of the methods that you guys gave me in your list at some point. The question becomes, what type of decisions do you use which one of those methods for? Okay? If someone offers you to eat a food that you've never had before, there's not much logical that you can use, not much logic you can use in that situation. So maybe you're using your feelings or even past experience. That's another way that people make decisions, using past experience with similar situations, and then they make decisions in the hopes to either recreate a previous situation or prevent the situation from taking place, right? So in the case of what I just gave in regards to the food, you may not have a logical basis for it, but maybe you don't like the feelings you get when it comes to eating that mysterious food X. So you decide, no, I don't like how I feel about it, so I'm not going to do that. Okay? You go through a process, and we all do, when it comes to decision making. But it's the process that you use that I'm describing that limits you. Okay? You may wonder, what do I mean? How does using logic limit me? Well, I mean, that answers itself. Logic in that of itself is limiting. If you live life purely based on logic, you will have a really tough time when you have to make the hard choices. Okay? If you do it purely based on logic, because you're going to do everything you can, this is what logic is, you're doing everything that you can to make that thing make sense. I need this to make sense for me before I move forward. That, if you're thinking logically, that's how you operate. Okay? Make sense? Put it in the chat. Now, I'm not saying to dismiss logic at all. I'm saying that if you're using purely logic, you'll have a tough time with making the difficult choices. A great example of this is when somebody is sick of working their job or living their life in a certain way, but they can't see a way out. So logically to them, they decide to keep living the way they are until something else comes up, all right? But what happens? You know what happens. Put it in the chat. You know what happens when you do this. When you decide that you're going to keep doing the thing until something else comes up that is either better or at least different than the thing that you're doing. What happens?
Love Over Everything said, oh, I'm tired of my second job. I said, I'm going to do it just a little bit longer. I ignore my feelings.
Yes. See, what happens is nothing changes. In fact, your life gives you even more reasons to stick to the thing that you hate, right? Let's say your car all of a sudden breaks down. You got to have money. Well, I can't get my car fixed if I don't have any money. So let me stick to this job just so I have enough money to get my car fixed. I get my car fixed, but then something else comes up. And I still need money, so I still keep working this job. So, you follow?
Oof. There's a lot of answers in the chat to your
Oh,
question.
go ahead.
Oh, hey, Sharonda. What's up? Okay, so Fortunata said you burn out.
Yes, you burn out.
The pressure mounts and mounts until everything crumbles.
Yep.
Bobby, you spend the rest of your life waiting.
Yes. Waiting.
Tejas Winnie, you get stuck in it. Nothing different. From Megan. Everything looks so bad that I almost thought God is evil. Interesting.
I can feel that. I can feel that.
It's for the holidays, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, it's for the holidays. But after the holidays, I'm finally done.
Yep.
But you're never done, right?
Ooh.
You're never done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Nothing changes. No matter how much you, quote unquote, want it to change, nothing changes. You're waiting for a knight in shining armor to show up and save you from the problem that you're having. Only to find out they never showed up. And you're sitting there going, well, I'll wait just a little bit longer. In this case, knight in shining armor doesn't have to be a person. It could be a new job opportunity. It could be literally anything other than that, but nothing shows up. You're sitting there going, man, what the fuck, man? I want something to change, but it just won't. Okay? So you keep repeating this cycle. And this cycle is eating away at you every single time you do it, to the point where no matter what you tell yourself, no matter how many times you commiserate with your friends, no matter how many times you look at your bank account, nothing changes. Hell, you look at your friends and realize they're in the same spot too. How the hell can they help you? Right? How can they help you? You following along? Put it in the chat.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So, how do we flip this switch? How do we do something different? And in fact, I'm going to tell you what to do during this class, and I want you to look at just one thing in your life that you can do this with immediately. Okay? But before I do that, I'm going to give you a bit of a story that happened actually not so long ago. And you can learn from this. The answer is baked into the story. Okay? Me and Sam used to work with a finance company. During this time, something happened that used to get on my nerves. Okay? It used to get on my nerves. I also realized that I was also the perpetrator of this particular behavior. It was just being mirrored back to me. But something used to get on my nerves. The guy that we worked with would constantly volunteer me for things I never agreed to. Okay, this used to drive me nuts. Okay, he'd be like, hey man, well, right now you're our chief operating officer, so there are things that I need you to do. And he had already agreed to do these things would get done, and he's only telling me about it afterwards. That shit used to drive me nuts. Okay? It used to drive me nuts. In fact, I had previous clients that did the same thing. But this guy, he went like far and beyond. Okay? Now, I was always able to perform. I was always able to do the things that he said for me to do. I was always able to do them. That was never the issue. It was that you didn't even ask me first. He didn't say, hey, are you willing to do it? Are you interested? Nope. You know how he came at me? He said, hey, this is what you're doing. Here's the money. This is what he did. I'm just like, this isn't about money, man. It is not about that. But it wasn't about that for him either. Because when we sat there and talked, and we had a discussion about it, and he said, look, I've never had access to someone with your skills. And because I know that you can do all this stuff, I never worry about it. With someone, I don't have people come into my lap all the time who can do what you can do. And I really looked at that because I had a previous client say something like that to me too. I've never had access to someone like you who can do a lot of the stuff that you do. And he would do the same thing, just volunteer me for stuff within the company that I never agreed to. Okay? And again, it irritated me, but I realized that I did the same thing, although it was in a different way. And the answer lies there. Now, all of the clients that I've had that done this, they're people who had means. They were wealthy. They were rich, right? All the clients that I had that did this. But one thing that had always eluded me was how they were able to do that. And here is the answer. Okay? They did not concern themselves with how something would happen. They did not concern themselves with this. We get lost in this idea of how does it work? How do we do it? Okay? Because when we focus on how we do it, we don't do anything. We're spending all this time studying and doing research and this and another. The people that I worked with, they didn't have time for that. They were like, yo, you already know how to do it. I know that you can do it. And I go, well, what if I told you no? I didn't want to do it. I already know how to do it. I know that you can do it. And I go, well, what if I told you no? I didn't want to do it. They go, well, I would just go to someone else. And that really solidified things for me. When they said, I'll just go to someone else and do it, but I'd rather not because I know you can't. See, they don't concern themselves with how it works. This is such a pivotal part of this. Do not concern yourself with how it works. That's how we get lost in the whole thing. How am I going to get a job that pays this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to get this person to leave me alone so I can be happy? How? All of that. This is where we get lost. We get lost in the hows. And we also not only get lost in the hows, we get lost in the why. Why is my life like that? Why is this happening to me? Why? Maybe you're familiar with what I'm talking about. With getting stuck in the hows. Getting stuck in the why. Doing your best to find out why is my life like this? Why am I living this way? Is there anything better for me out there? Okay. Well, let me tell you something. To the last question, is there anything better for you out there? The answer is no. The answer is no. There is nothing better out there for you. Because the thing that you're looking for isn't out there. It's in here. So looking out there for the answers is not going to get you anything. And you already know that. Because you've been looking out there for the answers, and yet you're still stuck. Because you haven't found something that's going to give you what it is to get you out of it. So, if you're looking for something better out there, it's not there. It's in here. And it's in here based on not how or why. Get away from these. How and why does nothing for you. Other than keep you running around in circles. And, just between us, you're tired of that, right? You're tired of running around in circles. You're like, what the fuck, man? You're tired of running in circles. You've been running in circles for your whole life. Okay. And you're just like, well, we'll say your whole adult life. I can't speak for before that, but your adult life, oh boy, running in circles, trying to find answers. You're done. You're like, fuck, man. When am I going to find the answer? Not the 10 answers, the answer. Put it in the chat. Are you sick of that shit?
Yes, with 2 exclamation points. All right, what do we got here? Anybody else? I know y'all are sick.
See, the answer doesn't lie in how, why. It doesn't even lie in what, when, and where. The answer lies in the first word of that whole sequence. Who?
Hubby.
What?
Not just a sick emoji.
Oh.
Sick and sick of being sick. Yep.
Yeah. The answer lies in who. This is your answer. Who do I need to be to stop doing this? Who do I need to allow myself to experience in my life? Who can I help that will also help me? See, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Screw all the other questions. Screw all of them. You don't need all the other questions. Who? Who can help me? Who can get me to stop doing this bullshit? Who can push me beyond my limits so I can live the way I say I will? Who can I help do the same?
Ooh.
See, that's the question you have to ask yourself. It's who, what, when, where, why, and how. You see how is last? But who is first? Who? See, what, when, where, all that doesn't matter if you don't know who. If you're looking at how you can fix your problem, you're going to find that there are a bunch of dead ends. You may have already experienced this. All these dead ends. Right? But if you didn't ask yourself who, no wonder you met a dead end. You got to start with who. Because when you understand that, see, this is the difference between when someone is making decisions based upon, oh, I have to do this because, versus who can I get? When I built my company, this is a great example. When I built my company, I didn't build my company on how am I going to market my business. It's who am I going to get that's going to do it for me, because that's a gap in my knowledge that I don't have. Who am I getting? Who is going to come in here and fill the gap of my ignorance? Because I don't want to go out of the way to go learn a bunch of marketing. Fuck that. Fuck that. I don't want to learn all that. So I'd rather get somebody who already knows how to do that. The question is who? See, I didn't want to spend all this time learning something because during the time I'm learning it, I'm not doing anything else. I haven't moved forward. I'm actually sitting in the same spot with the book, looking at the same page. I haven't done shit. I haven't done anything. The question is who? Who can come in and help me? Who is willing to go in with me? Who? Not what are they going to do? Where are they?
How much am I paying them?
How much am I paying them? None of that. Because if you don't have who, none of that matters. None of that matters. See, we started this whole thing with wealthy decision making. See, poor decision making starts with how. Wealthy decision making starts with who.
It's not a coincidence that bad decisions are also called poor decisions.
Yes! It's not a coincidence. They're poor decisions. If you're like, well, I just don't have enough money, the question is not how do I get more money? It's who can I talk to? Who can help me? Who can do that? Who's willing to work with me? Who's willing to pull my ass out of this shit so that I can finally move on? Who is willing to do that? Who? Not how. who. Are you following?
We got lots of chats, yeah.
Lots of chats. What does that mean?
Everyone's like, wow, mind blown. Whoa.
It's who.
Yes. Yeah. Hard copy.
See, you have to be able. What?
No, just read the chats.
You have to start here. I don't get, if you're like, well, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do this. This is where you start. I don't care what you do that's new. You gotta start with who. If you're like, well, I'm getting into something new, who already does that so I don't have to start from scratch?
Who do you even know already? Who's in your network already?
Right.
You probably have no idea.
The question isn't how. It's not why. It's who. Okay, so here's what I want you to do right now. Whatever situation you got going on in your life, I don't know. But I want you to pay attention to how you feel after you answer this question. Who is in my vicinity? Who is in my life that doesn't suffer from this problem? Whatever the problem is. Okay? Who in my life doesn't suffer from this problem? Who? Answer that question and then pay attention to how you feel afterwards. Because when you see this, the person who doesn't suffer from it, you'll realize the answer has been sitting in front of you the whole time. Put it in the chat. How do you feel after coming to an answer to this question?
Like an idiot.
We might have just broke the internet.
We might have.
What do you mean you broke it?
The internet.
What do you mean you broke it?
It's not broken, it's just booting.
Ah.
Glitching, rebooting, downloading. Hold on. Relieved, enlightened, happy, appreciative.
Sharonda. Inspired. Does anyone feel a little bit foolish?
Now, this is why people get mentors. The mentors don't deal with this bullshit. They already did, right?
God damn.
They already did all that. Why people get coaches, mentors, all that. Because they don't deal with any of that shit.
It's nice, but I have a choice of who. How do I make the right choice?
There is none.
You have a choice of people who don't have your problem. That's great.
Then pick one. There is no right choice. Just pick one. See, you're actually doing what I described earlier.
Logically, the
Yeah.
right choice.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the right one?
Poor decisions.
Just pick one. You know, you're sitting there moping around, sad all the time, and you see people in your vicinity with big ass grins and smiling all the time. Guess what? They don't deal with your problem.
Yeah.
Feeling like I'm on the right track here, helping out on a mentor's team already.
There you go.
It's so simple. Yes.
Yeah, isn't it? It's so simple. Like, who? What the fuck, man? It's so simple. Let me tell you something. When you switch from how to who, whatever money problem you thought you had,
Do we ask the who, how, question mark?
no. How does not factor into this at all. But I do appreciate the question. It's just who. Not who, then how. Because the how handles itself. Things just happen. Right? The only time I ever answer a how question is after I already did it. Because if you ask me how am I going to do it before I do it, I'm going to tell you I have no clue.
Cedar says, thank you for clarifying with such gusto.
Yeah.
Gusto is the name of the game. What if I can't think of someone right now?
That's okay. That's all right. Maybe take some time to look through your phone. See if there's someone that just pops up. Maybe look through your text messages. Look through your social media. People who are in your family. People who are friends. People who are acquaintances. Neighbors. Doesn't matter. Look around. See who's in your vicinity that doesn't deal with your problem. If nothing comes up right away, that's all right. Just take a little bit more time to look around. See. Because maybe there is something you are missing that is sitting right in front of your face.
It's usually where it always is.
That's always where it is. It is always right in front of your face.
Usually
Because you know it's right in front of your face because once it told to you, you were like, how the fuck did I miss that? How did I miss that?
How the fuck?
Even though it's been there the whole time. So, switch from how and start looking at who. When you start doing that, what I want you to do is reach out to that who, talk to that who, and see what happens. It could be just sending them a message. It could be anything. Talk to that who and see what happens. See what happens.
Great class.
All right? So, I'll take 2 questions and then I'm done here.
All right, first 2 questions that come in are getting answered, possibly. Fantastic. Instant change of perspective, Bobby said.
What up, Bobby?
What up, Bob?
What up, man?
Who's got a question? If there's no questions, that's great.
That's great.
Yeah,
We don't need to go on a quest if
on a quest.
Quest for questions? That's just fine with me.
Veronica, hello. Okay. Can you let me know why? Even if okay. All right, we got 3. The first one that came in from Dina. Can you let me know why, even if I have the who, I'm not moving forward and feeling stuck again?
I have no idea. You tell me. Okay, I'll walk you down the road. Come on. We'll take a walk. Okay? You already got the who. My question is, are you done being stuck? Because if you're not, then I guess it doesn't matter because you're not going to do anything else anyway. See, people only move when they're done being stuck. So, if you aren't done being stuck, I guess it doesn't matter then.
Word. Okay, next question and the final question, because the third question is a how question. Eli asks, what is one of the first questions you would ask your who?
Me?
Yeah. What's up?
Who do I need to be so that I never experience this again?
Oh, write that down. Write that down. Who do I need to be so that I never experience this again?
Oof.
It's not how do I get out of this? It's who do I need to be? Yes. Major feels.
Who do I need to be to never experience this again?
Mic drop.
Yep. Someone who doesn't have that problem. Question mark. Yeah. All right.
And only you can determine what that means. Because I can't tell you. You can say someone who doesn't have that problem. But who is it that doesn't have that problem? We're back to the same thing I brought up. Who doesn't suffer the problem? Who do you need to be so you never have to experience it again?
Yeah. Who do I need to be is about who you're being. How is about what you're doing.
Yes, and I already told you. How has got nothing to do with this.
Does that complete the class?
That's it. I'm done.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Andre, and thank you for coming, everybody who attended. There will be a replay posted on my page, in case you missed part of it. All right, love you guys. Bye.